Hey guys, how's it going? Have you heard about the hot new chat app Candid? Whoa! Isn't it cool? Well, no, it isn't actually. And this isn't a sponsored video. In fact, the way things are now, I wouldn't touch Candid with a 10-foot pole. Recently, I've seen a ton of people here on YouTube promoting Candid, a kind of anonymous chat service, and I thought, with all these guys, people like Shoe on Head, Mundane Matt, Bearing, The Amazing Atheist, and so many others on Candid's payroll, who's going to take a critical look at this? Guess that task falls to me. Because I really didn't like seeing so many of the YouTubers I follow become a sort of shill army for this thing. And now that I've looked at the app, I'd like it even less. There's something I find a bit sinister about this sponsor's product. Something you probably won't hear from people who are being paid to make Candid look good. You see, if you use Candid, you are being used as a guinea pig in a censorship AI experiment. I'll let Bindu Reddy, co-founder and CEO of Candid, quickly explain what's going on.
All of our posts and comments on Candid go through an NLP algorithm which analyzes and detects sentiment, detects things like slander and hate speech. A machine is going to detect if you're being hateful or spiteful or annoying, and it's going to decide whether your comment or your post should stay on or this is something which should be taken out.
Fantastic. Candid, BeCandid.com, is one of my greatest sci-fi nightmares come to life. Brilliant. This sounds like Twitter's horrific shadow banning system times 10. In case you missed that, she said an NLP, Natural Language Processing Algorithm, checks everything posted to Candid and decides whether it's acceptable based on sentiment. Ladies and gentlemen, what could possibly go wrong? Maybe I've become really out of touch with my audience and you guys are just going to say, oh no, that sounds lovely. It's going to force everyone to be somewhat polite at the very least. But if I haven't lost my mind, I think a lot of you are going to be quite concerned. How exactly does this work? How effective is it? How accurate is it? How could this be changed to clamp down later? Where else could this be applied? How are they making money on this? How can they afford all these sponsorship deals for a free service where, when I looked at it, there were no ads? Could be wrong there though. Is the product actually the AI they're working on? All these questions and more ran through my mind, and I've sent some of them to the company. Now, they haven't responded yet, but what I've found just looking around so far warrants a video. Because I think all of you should know all this before you use Candid, or if you are already using Candid, because you might want to stop. If I get more important info, I'll either add it to this video's description or make a new video if it's that important. So, besides automatically censoring people, what else does this AI do? Well, while the app is supposed to keep you anonymous and not give you a persistent identity, their FAQ claims that the AI will give you a persistent personality indicator. It says, Candid uses advanced artificial intelligence in order to perform complex analysis of posts to give you a special badge that represents your social personality. Why would you want this? Part of the beauty of anonymity is that you go in without preconceptions about who said whatever it is they're saying. If you're labeled as a troll or labeled as a happy, nice person, that ruins that. And do you really trust this system to label people like that? Do you trust this company? If you use Candid, you'd better, because there's something else that AI is going to be labeling as well. According to a Washington Post article that was published earlier this month entitled Candid Offers an Opportunity to Speak Freely, but Politely, Online, Candid's secret sauce is in its artificial intelligence moderation, which aims to weed out bad actors by analyzing the content of posts and keeping hate speech and threats off the network. But it also has other interesting features. For example, its algorithm tries to weed out false information by marking certain items as rumor or true. That's right, Candid's AI will be deciding and helping you and the masses decide what is true, with handy-dandy labels. Again, what could go wrong? How could this possibly be abused? Now, maybe some of this isn't happening at the moment. Maybe you haven't seen anything like this happening or noticed it, but perhaps that has something to do with something I found posted a couple months ago. Candid has a page on a website called Product Hunt that seems quite legit, and underneath their information in the comment section, someone claiming to be a representative of the company has answered some people's questions. And here he is. Hi Product Hunt, I'm Spencer from Candid, and I'm thrilled to share what we've been working on. Can't wait to see what you all have to say, and I'm happy to answer any questions. You'll notice it says he works for MyLikes, but that's because Candid is spun out of MyLikes, and they have the same owners. Anyway, someone asked, isn't this just like Secret? How do you deal with abuse? To which Spencer replied, hey, we use a powerful AI to automatically detect and remove abuse. It's our largest team. It's hard to find more info about this guy, but it certainly seems legit. So, largest team. Does that mean most important part of the website? Just speculating here, but both of the site's co-founders are ex-Google, and we know Google's Jigsaw is working on something similar called Conversation AI. Maybe they want to compete. Who knows? It's not exactly transparent. Anyway, back to what I was showing you. Someone else added to the conversation about moderation. They said, all this really means is that loads of non-abusive posts are going to get removed and real abuse is going to stay up for days or weeks. Unless, hopefully, by AI you mean a team of attentive humans. To which Spencer replied, hey Ashley, we don't believe in harassers. Meninists. Abusive bullshit, etc. They can expect to get kicked out of Candid and will get their comeuppance during the revolution. We have human moderation as well. Smiley face. Dunno about you guys, but I find this a little bit concerning. Is that some kind of joke? Is he alluding to them one day turning on this censorship program or what? The revolution. Sounds just a little bit ominous. If this is bullshit, it needs to be addressed because it looks legit. If it's not bullshit, holy shit, stay away from Candid, would be my advice. While I think everything I've shown you so far should be enough to cause concern, there is one more thing I want to point out. I found another clip of Bindu Reddy, the co-founder and CEO of Candid, this time on NPR.com. Turns out this AI isn't just something they've developed and are going to use, it's learning. I'll let her explain.
So the way the artificial intelligence works is it parses your sentence. We use a deep learning NLP algorithm, which basically looks at what you're saying and decides, A, whether it's positive or negative. So it kind of classifies things as having a negative sentiment or a positive sentiment. It then gives it a score of how kind of strong your statement is. Let's say you said something about someone or you threatened someone. Whether it's self-harm or like bullying or harassment, we look for certain phrases and the context of those phrases. And as we get more data, the algorithm feeds upon itself. So it trains based on more and more data, which we feed to it. And over time, it gets better at recognizing some of these posts.
As they feed it data, it gets better and better. Where do you think that data's coming from? Do you think it has anything to do with the people using Candid? You know what I think's happened? I can't prove this, but I have a feeling a bunch of YouTubers have traded your trust for cash so that you'll become a little rat in a wheel helping their AI get better. Unless this company quickly becomes a lot more transparent, this looks evil as fuck to me. Here's a little idea to contemplate for all you tinfoilers out there. What if they're promoting this so heavily amongst anti-SJW or whatever you want to call it YouTubers, because they want you on it to learn what you're like, to train their AI how to get rid of you, and then sell that AI. Just a thought. I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening, but just want to encourage a critical eye. Whatever they're going to do with this tool though, maybe you don't want to be feeding it. Because, like I said, even if the way these guys are using it is relatively harmless right now, where could this technology go? Why would you trust these people, especially considering this AI, which is obviously so key to their operation, isn't fully explained or shown off on the front page of their website? all they tell you about the AI on one of the tabs of the front page is that it will figure out your personality. There is nothing about its most impressive feature there. You'd think they'd take any opportunity to say, hey, look at this amazing learning AI we've got that will keep conversation clean. They're putting so much effort into it, you'd think they'd advertise it. It's the most unique thing about them. It's what really separates them from other apps. Don't you think it's fishy that they're advertising to a crowd I'd expect to be skeptical of a tool like that, and not putting that tool front and center? Instead, just alluding to that capability in their FAQ section, saying, Candid's AI is improving all the time, and your reports help keep the service safe. This screams, stay away, to me. And that's not even getting into all the people I've seen saying they've been shadow banned or claiming that it demands your phone number and doesn't let you skip that step. Maybe it's a fun app to use, maybe it's well put together or whatever, maybe you enjoy it. Please think twice, and if you are going to be candid, do be careful too. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.